his own feet and he didn't do it. He was like, yeah, that definitely had this on it. This on his hands. He didn't wash his hands.
Look, and also he gets ice out of the ice container, he puts it in his drink. His drink ain't paying it. Anyway, just be a separate beer, just put just a little extra nice.
So, on the future of this franchise, this wasn't talked about this recently, but this wasn't researching how to get Tarantino that follow on. Which I remember also happened at the time Tarantino wanted to take it back to its roots and do a kind of a retro thing on movie, which is why I wanted to go back to the 60s. Obviously, that didn't work out. He also mentioned in the role I watched the recently, and he said definitely come back to the building. This has never been done before. Really interesting. But the other thing is, this is his last performance as Jack Bond. The same with you.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Famine Studios. I am, of course, Famine of Famine Studios. Today, we're going to be doing some weathering of, I've been saving up like a pile of troopers that I needed to weather for Gimmick Starport. Now, you guys know kind of the lore of the troopers around Gimmick. We'll go over some of that, we'll talk about that. But I'm going to show you quite a few different ways to weather your troopers. Oh, look at that. Bjorn's already got a squad of stormtroopers ready to be weathered, so that's good. This can be either the most easy weathering that you can possibly do. We'll go over that. We'll go over a couple of different ways, and yeah, we'll get started. So I've got a whole cavalcade of troopers. All those in the thumbnail I was holding. I've got a tank driver that needs to be weathered. He can't just tool around perfectly clean. He's got to suffer the fate. Get off my bed. Get down. Down, ma'am. Down, Stark. Thank you. Sorry. I've got a sand trooper he's not going to get a sandy treatment, but you'll see. I've got sand troopers. I've got tankers. I've got regular stormtroopers. We have some helmets we can swap out because I've gotten, of course, a bunch of those Boba Fett's, the deluxe figure with the extra remnant helmets. We can certainly put those to use. We've got the mortar trooper. Again, might not be a mortary mix. And then I have a few different biker scouts that we can weather up. I'd like to get them all kind of in keeping. And then I have some accessories we can patch onto them afterwards. We can absolutely do that. PLM, good morning, or evening, excuse me. I took a nap. I've got to stop taking a nap Tuesday afternoons. Yeah, I've been thinking about that all day. It's so stupid, but it made me laugh. Yeah, we'll do a couple of different ways to do this, but weathering can be as complex or as simple as you want. You can use pretty much anything to weather. You can use we'll go through some tools, but I like to use Scotch-Brite, the red stuff. It's a little more abrasive than the green. You can use a sanding stick. You can use a X-Acto tool. We'll go ahead and use that. That's one that I always wind up using. You can, if you really wanted to push it and do like a really dinged up, grimy, rough, like beat to Shaditsky armor, a little wire brush with some brass or steel, little wire, but it's fairly simple how to do weathering. It's not complex. Basically what you're doing is you're going to apply a little real world logic to what's going on. So I'm going to set down a paper towel here. I'm going to fold it in half. Nothing fancy. As far as colors go, gonna be super easy. We're going to use black, we're going to use burnt umber, and we're going to use raw sienna. And we can go ahead and use student acrylics. They're cheap. You can go even cheaper. You can absolutely go even cheaper. You can use apple barrel. Their acrylics are good. They are great for weathering. We'll also do one with pigment powder if I decide to get around to that. And by pigment powder, I do mean pastels where we scrape it and then brush it on. But for starters, we're just going to begin with the regular Stormtrooper. This guy right here, regular Imperial Stormtrooper white armor. He's got the articulation. I do believe this is, he was some type of troop leader, but I took his pauldron off. Hey, welcome back. Haven't seen you in a bit. Twi'lek, glad you could join. Bjorn, thank you. So I'm just going to bring the camera down here and I'll show you guys how I start weathering and making a mess. Start, get down, I said. Down. Now. Thank you, sir. I love you. Go lay down, Rosie girl. All right. So we've got our trooper here. Now, one of the first things we can do is just take a look. We'll put some scratches on the armor. And again, because there's not really any brand spanking new Stormtroopers in Gimmick, that's something we've gone over in lore a few times, that they're not getting supplies of new plastoid armor. They kind of have to fend for themselves. So we'll just take the shine off to start. And that's where this comes in. And you just give a little bit of scratch. And it really does just dull that shine down. And you can already see on camera, this leg is much shinier than this one. We can go a little bit further, scuff up the front of their shoes. Once again, just going on. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect because this is gonna, we're basing this on reality, right? We're treating this like real armor that would get dinged up, banged off against things, wiped down, carried around, hit into stuff. Make sure the butt, gotta sand the butt. The back of the armor, can't forget that. Won't get as weathered, but the shoulder pauldrons, the shoulder pads as they were, the chest plate, get right in there, up in there, underneath. You want to make sure you get into there too, because you want the grime to collect in that area. And then same with the helmet, right? You just go over and hit all those spots. Now, excuse me. Now we could call that good, right? We could say, okay, and we just weather him up with some color and call it a day, but we want him to look a little bit more rough, a little bit more tumble, like he's been through a little bit more stuff. So again, we're using the basic like realism, but also the rule of cool. We'll put a dig or two here. And that's all I'm doing is I'm just using my knife to make a couple of nicks, a couple of cuts, drag it, maybe one on the thigh here. Okay. On the chest, do a couple of scratches. Maybe he got into contact with some type of critter. bit of a scrapey scrape on the helmet. Bridge of the nose. There we go. Right. And then you can go even further. If you wanted to, you could take something like a file. Just a simple rat tail file. These things are like 50 cents at the hardware store. And just pick a spot and just hit it. And it creates like a, if you get the circular one, the rat tail one, it creates just like a little channel, right? And we can go ahead and, hit his wrist with that, really scuff that up. We'll do this shoulder pad too. We'll follow that path a little bit that we just did right into his shoulder pad. We're telling a story now with the weathering. We don't know. Maybe somebody tried to stab him and it skipped up, or he got blasted, shot at. We'll just hit the helmet a little bit too, back of it. So we're going to call that done as far as the physical weathering of the figure goes. So we'll set these tools aside. Now, what we can do is I've got a cup of dirty, well, it's clean, but it's in a dirty paint cup, paint water here. And so I'm going to mop this brush up, really saturate it with water, wet this paper towel next to it, just so I've got a spot to work out of. And we're going to start with a little bit of raw sienna. Excuse me. Basic acrylics, student acrylics, just a little burnt sienna, not raw. Just put it on there. Now we've got that. I'm going to wet my brush again. My brush has been heavily wet. I'm just going to pull a little of that paint. And I'm going to start from the top. And I'm just going to cover this dude in some paint. Get it in all the cracks, the crevices, and your hands are going to get filthy. Just as a heads up, I go heavier towards the bottom on the feet because, well, that's where the dirt collects. Gravity always works downward. Get it in all the back and the crevasses on the armor. It's crevices, famine. Crevasses when you're in outer space, random commenter. So we've got that sloshed on there. Next, we're going to take a little bit of the burnt umber. Again, student acrylics. And just a little bit of that there in the same wet area. Mix the two colors. And then I'm just picking the spots that I want to be a little bit dirtier, where I think more grime would pick up. So right around the feet, right? Maybe around the wrists in those grooves, the hands. Slop that on the helmet. And then just a couple other spots here, right in the backpack area, back of the knees, again, the feet, a little bit there. So that's already starting to dry up because it is acrylic, and these paints do tend to dry fast, which is what we want. Now, in the interest of saving materials, I just do have some scrap t-shirt that I've been cutting up for rags, and we'll go ahead and use that. We'll take a look at the chat and see what's going on. Is that the new one? No, I don't think it is the new one. I've had this one sitting in a box, Bjorn, for a few months. Haven't posted or created. Minute left dial behind currently. Pilot Luke and Stormtrooper clip 2. Hey, there you go. Could have been a botched assassination. Yeah, there's not a lot of people buying toys in Washington, D.C., I don't think. But I'm glad that they're stocked somewhere. Just get a little of that paint under the brush. So now we've got our trooper. He's drying up. And what I do is I just pull the rag tight over my finger, and then I start working my way down and pulling that grime off the armor. And it's starting to just sit in the areas that we want it to. And it's really creating this like eerie, gross post, just post cleanliness. There's stormtroopers can be having a rough time on planets. We often don't think of that. Mimbin was the first time where we saw Imperials really having a rough go of things. I mean, aside from your random hit squads by the rebels, things of that nature. So Gimmick is, a space planet where they got nothing coming for them. No one's coming to bring them supplies. They've kind of got to manage on their own. Some of them have found ways to, strong arm local businesses and get kickbacks, things of that nature. But all in all, they are just having a shit time. So some guys, they take a little bit of pride in their armor. Other ones don't. Now I'm taking a little bit of wet, and that'll also help just bring the excess material, the excess paint down, because it is starting to get a little tacky, a little cure up really well, which is great. But I just want to take a little bit more off than just wiping it off dry. The great thing about these heavily pigmented paints is they do tend to stain the plastic, which is what we want. We want this to look like it's been through hell and back, right? Howdy, what's going on? Welcome, welcome, welcome. And see, guys, we're starting to get somewhere. We're starting to get that dirty, forlorn, gross, grimy look. So we're going to keep wiping. We're going to keep pulling some of this material away. Come on, buddy. There we go. And again, I've just wet that a little bit. Just dipped the tip of my finger into some water. This music is going to put me right to goddamn sleep, I tell you. Yeah, there we go. And just like I said earlier, consider the trooper, consider the unit. Like, they're going to take their time. Your helmet's probably going to be your cleanest piece of equipment, right? If you're a stormtrooper and you want to be able to see, so maybe you spend a lot of time like trying to wipe messes off the majority of your helmet, because that's your pride. So we'll spend a little bit of time here just wiping the high points, getting the muck and whatnot off the high spots on the helmet, which I think adds to it even more, makes it more realistic, because like that's where you're going to spend your time. That's where you're going to make things look a little nicer while you can. Okay. So now we've got, this is more along the lines of those remnant troopers on the show. I like this. I do want to get a little black on here, though. I think the black will really pop certain areas and really bring attention to some weathering. But like, that dude looks like he's had a rough couple of weeks or months or year. And you can go as clean as you want or as weathered as you want. Some people just like to slosh, watered down paint on their figures and let it dry. That's not the look that I'm really jamming for. I appreciate that some people like that, but that's just not what I want on mine. And again, you're a trooper, right? You're a soldier. Even in positions where your gear is going to take a hell of a beating, you're going to spend a little bit of time cleaning it. You're going to try and spend a little bit of time to make it look halfway decent. So let's spend a little time now as we weather this guy up and make it look like he maybe gave a shit. You saw a guy weather a Warhammer mini that you want to try on a Stormtrooper. Nice. Okay. And we just fold a couple of things here and there. And I'm just getting into odd places and just pushing the paint around. So that's really all we do when we weather and paint, is we take a stick, we move paint around. It really is what it is. All right. Hell yeah. There we go. So let's do a little bit of black. We'll bring the camera back down now. And like I said, we're going to use apple barrel. And again, apple barrel, $2 at Walmart for that, or $1.90, whatever their shipping pricing structure is. Just get a little more water. Put some black on there. A little bit in there. Some here. Come on, helmet. You just want to be careful. You don't want to get it too wet because that'll reactivate your paint that you've got there until it fully cures. Acrylics are like that, which is one of the reasons I like them. But the black and the water blending together just makes that gross, really cool color and adds an extra bit of shadow. And then I'm just going to go ahead and hit the high spots of where I just applied it. We'll do the backpack. Get a little black paint in there. There we go. And that is a really cool, really weathered Stormtrooper. And I am happy with that. We won't add any pouches or anything like that to this guy. We're just going to start getting the blanket coating on all of these, the base of weathering. Again, they're all from the same theater, right? Are you familiar with the term of what a theater of war is? The location where they're fighting. That's the bare bones description. So that is, that's what we're calling this here. So it's their theater. And, yeah. Hello, doggo. I just bumped in my foot. Okay. Ant made it in. Hello, hello. I'm docking your pay. That's coming out of the green room expenses. All in the same blood and mud. Yeah, exactly. So the next one we're going to work on is let's do the tanker. He's 5 POA. He's, I guess, hard to find. Why, I don't know. Other than it's sick as fuck. Wow, that came out of nowhere. But yeah, we're going to just weather him up. We're not going to do any nicks or dings on account of there's so much detail already in this armor. This is one of my favorite helmets in all of Star Wars. It's a shame this figure isn't super articulated, but I'm sure we will get one eventually because merchandising. So again, we'll just take our wet brush. We'll start with the colors that we have here. And you can kind of blend them too. If you want a little bit of more of a mix, you can add a little bit of black to your raw sienna or your burnt umber or your burnt sienna. Is this helmet removable? Yes. But there's no head underneath. This head just pops off. So. And I just like to make sure that when I do apply paint, right, on something like this, there's a lot of panel lines on their armor, especially on the newer armor, like the tank troopers, the Scarif beach troopers. There's a lot of panel lines, more angular spaces on there. Great places for grime and filth to collect. So I do take advantage of that. And as you can hear, my voice is starting to go this week. Started to happen last night and then today when I was on the phone. So I took it real easy. Took a little bit of a nap today, and I'm hoping that this is just due to the temperature up and down and not anything else. We shall see. But I'm here with my homies. I'm here chatting. Here with you guys. And tankers, man. Tank boots, they get dirty. Do you know why? Swap that helmet onto a TVC trooper. I'm not going to do that. But if I wanted to do white, I could just use one of the ton of these that I got from the Migs Mayfeld and Dinjarin troopers, which plans for that. But tank troop boots, they get dirty because of all the oil and grime. So I'm going to go ahead and utilize a little bit of extra black there. The black and the burnt umber. Just make sure that gets in all the grooves on the shoes. I'm not even going to worry about the pants. Because you know what? They can take their armor off and wash their underkit, but they can't wash the, the permanent staining and forced pigment in their field gear. And there, I'm just all over, making sure I get the hands too, the extra stuff. And I do have things that we'll tack on, like I said, a little bit later to kind of customize these guys even more so. But right now, it's just a matter of applying pigment to it, letting it get into grooves, letting it get into places, and then letting it cure up so we can take it away, leaving behind a little bit of residue. While that guy's sitting there, getting his dry on. Ew. What the fuck is wrong with you? Alright, we're gonna use one of the crappy Scout Troopers, the Gaming Greats Scout Troopers. Man, I hate this figure. It's such a dumb figure. The helmet is tiny compared to the newer one. Like, it is so freaking noticeable, the size difference. And if I get more Stormtrooper, I might try and throw some Stormtrooper helmets on this instead of whatever it is this little guy is working with here, because yeah.
Let me get a pair of pliers.
Because who knows? Maybe he doesn't need his Scout Trooper helmet. Maybe he wants a Stormtrooper helmet. Always wanted to be a Stormtrooper. Ever since I was a kid, I knew I wanted to be a Stormtrooper. That ain't gonna fit. We're gonna modify it. Famine, this was supposed to be a simple episode. You mind your fucking business. You mind your business. Where'd you go? Oh, there you are. Sanding stick. Yeah, I'm hoping if we get new snow troopers, we also get new galactic marines. I loved those guys in the prequels and never did get enough of them. They were ones that always got scooped up. Would have loved to get more, but and for anybody new to the channel, I am Famine. I am an artist slash maker slash prop maker slash all around creative. I stream at least once a week on Tuesday nights. You guys will likely see me more during the week as time progresses, as I get a little bit more of my schedule shored up. I am also available Friday nights on World Makers Consortium over on Rad Toys channel. We hang out there. We talk 1/18 scale world building and more. And it's a fun hang. We get a lot of people there. We got the regular cast that you see here, and more and more cats join every week. It is the #1 world building show on Fridays, so be sure to check that out. If you're new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe. If you're here and you're already a fan, and you're just like, man, hanging out with Famine today, what could I be doing? Why don't you smack that like button? Why don't you think of that? Instead of thinking for yourself, thinking about yourself, maybe hit that like button. Think about me. Think about these dogs. Think about the cats. Alexa, play Arms of the Angel. The Arms of the Angel. There we go. All right, this guy's getting a Stormtrooper helmet because I cannot with that fucking speeder bike helmet. And that's a little different. Again, ramshackle group of troopers. Maybe we give this guy a cape. That's a different look. Why not? Right? It's different. Who's texting me? Everybody I talk to is sitting in here. Oh, it's my grandmother from the other room. This should be good. Oh. She just sent me I can show you guys. Let me make it bigger. She sent me a picture from the other room of all three of Kenny's cats sitting on her chair while she's in the other room. All right, so we made that swap. Right now, before we put some more stuff on there, illusion standing. Yep. All that, and also they work with what they got, right? That's all they have. That's all they can use. And now we've got our tank driver. He's going to be our guy. I'll bring you guys down here while I work on just removing the most of the grime off of him because he's proud. He gets to drive the HISS tank, the Imperial HISS tank. Yeah, Famine made a HISS tank from G.I. Joe, but gave it Imperial logos and made it Star Wars. Yes, sir, he did. And I also do have water slide decals. I'll save that for another episode. I think I've actually done that on a short form, or a long form video. But that's something we can certainly do on a stream if people are interested enough. But hell yeah, brother. That's starting to look cool. I'm digging that. Just really griming it up, all that oil, all the, the scorching carbon from the cannon fire, the, dragging people around, moving debris, camping out, the soot from spacecraft taking off and flying away, vehicles kicking up dust. And, there are areas of Gimmick where they've got really good filtration on their levels, and then there are other areas of Gimmick where it's just damn dusty because of everything going on in the area. And again, when you're on deployment and you don't have new kit, you keep cleaning your stuff, you try and make it the best, but, unfortunately, it's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows, in the words of Rocky Balboa. Sometimes you get hit and you keep moving forward. That's how winning's done. But you got to go out there and you got to take the chances. You got to be willing to get hit. Sorry. But yeah, I'm happy with him. I like it. He looks like a proud trooper. Looks like he likes driving his tank. It's filthy. And all you're going to see out of him is quite literally this. This is all you see out of him, popping out, holding the steering column. But also we got them dirty boots in case I have him standing at attention for inspection. So that's our second trooper done and dusted. Let's work on this guy. We're going to call him Steve. We're going to work on Steve here. Now, Steve, he's got kind of a diaper butt thing going on. I don't know what to do for you, Steve. Kind of embarrassing, I'm not going to lie to you. I'd be pretty ashamed to walk around looking like this, but we're going to weather him up. There's a little Pac-Man on him. Yeah. Well, that was just a sticker that I did, but I actually have water slide Imperial decals and Mandalorian decals, and I think I have some Rebel ones as well for troopers. But now since his helmet's beat the piss, I do want to make sure that, because the only real armor these guys have is their torso, their shoulders, and their knees. Aside from their helmet, I want to spend a little time really weathering that up. So I'm going to take my X-Acto tool. You'll notice I'm using that word, tool. I've been learning that if I say certain things, the algorithm likes my videos more. So we're learning how to play that game. And I would like for people to see my content. Troopers with mag boots and solo. I do have those. Everybody I love is just sending me pictures of cats today. It's wonderful. So, and I do have some of those troopers with the mag boots, but I'm actually going to be using those big ass boots for Super Mario Brothers. I'm going to make Mario and Luigi and use those boots to make them look like the ones from the movie. Just because I really liked those boots from the movie. I thought that was a brilliant way to like do that. So I'm over here. I'm just taking little chunks out of the armor, giving it scrapes on the high spots. Like if you had a chest ridge there and you were leaning up against a wall or you dropped down, maybe some debris fell, it would hit the high points and cause damage. And we're also going to take that little, I don't know if that's a rank bar or whatever that is. We're just going to scrape that right off. Scrape, 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 scrape. Scrape, 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 scrape. Megan. Yeah, I don't know if that was a hit movie, Bjorn. I don't think that Bob Hoskins and fucking John Leguizamo made their bank off of that movie. Who I am a huge John Leguizamo fan. He's honestly one of my favorite actors. He was absolutely inspired in Romeo and Juliet. Just tremendous. And yes, I will fight till the end of days to say that Romeo and Juliet was a good movie. Okay, let's get those. And let's do the knee pads up. Let's really scrape those. And I'm cutting away from myself. You'll see me cut towards myself. I have control over this X-Acto blade. It is in my hand. I'm making small movements, but cut away from yourself. Do as I say, not as I do. If you wanted to go ham, right? If you really wanted to go ham and make these guys super detailed after weathering, what you can do, I'll show you. And I did it on one because I used to make custom troopers for people. I sent out one, it was the Power of the Force Trooper Spiker Scout, but you could paint these a little bit of a differing black, maybe like a really matte black, the elastic bands around his pants. Behind the kneecaps, there's elastic straps. There's straps on the boots. You know, there's a lot of opportunity for adding different colors if you really wanted to go crazy with it. I'm not going to go absolutely freaking bananas with it. We're just going to utilize what we've got here. I am going to add a little bit of weathering to the helmet. And by weathering, I mean physical weathering. And we're also going to take this and take the shine off of all of his armor so that when the weathering sticks, it really sticks. We want those micro scratches to catch stuff. We want them to catch that. So once again, we're going to move our friends over here. Just set you out of the way, buddy. Okay. Set him down here. We'll take this brush, and you see how we're working with one brush. Just adding some more water to our, quote, palette. Add a little more paint to the working space. Come on. Beep. Also, you guys have, like Red brought it up when he came in about the thumbnail. You have no idea how, like, stupidly excited I was to make that dumb thumbnail. Please start over and from the beginning. Well, that's good because I have a whole pile of them, so we'll just start over again when we're done with this guy. We could have done a large batch job on them, but I'm doing them one at a time just because it's fun. I get to spend a little time with you guys and we get to talk toys. So starting out with this burnt sienna from Student Acrylic. Just we're slopping it on here. And I'm gonna try and stick to the hard armor to start. And then we'll go in and we're going to try a different method here. It's, you know, it's the same principle. We're just doing it in a different order. So I'm going to slop on this paint onto the armor, the hard armor, and we'll let that do its thing there. I've got a little bit of the burnt umber. Pull that on the helmet, knee pads, and now just get all that off there. We're going to take some of the black and we're going to do the feet, right? The boots and his holster. We want that black paint to get in all those details, those folds. Get it all in there. And now we're going to take this black with this brown and put it on the other areas, including the diaper, anywhere that remains that's white. Back of the helmet. Shit, we'll put some on the front of the helmet too. All right. So that's on there, and that just looks absolutely abysmal. It looks like, you know, a niece or nephew got a hold of it and just really had their way with it. So, just that you recommended was great. Oh, hey, I'm glad. I am using cheap paints right now because this is less detail and this is more just straight up weathering. But you could use those too. They're highly pigmented and are helpful. So again, we're going to start at the top and just pull the paint down. And that's the thing, is gravity. Again, I do get in on the lenses on the helmet though. Pull the paint down, 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 down. And this guy looks like he has seen some yet. And, you know, maybe he's the sniper of the unit. Maybe he lays in rubble all day, waiting. Maybe he's a courier. We don't know. We just work here. Hell yeah. Let's hit a little turn. Go. That is actually pretty impressive. I like how that turned out. That looks great, I think. And then we're gonna make this guy. We're gonna make his day, right? I did say I'm not gonna tack anything onto these guys, but that doesn't mean I can't hand him something. Let's see, what are we gonna give you, buddy? You deserve something. Should we give him a shield? Yeah, let's absolutely. We're gonna weather this shield. Make sure you effed up knees. Yeah, right. All right, we're gonna use a sanding stick, the rough side. We're gonna hit the edges of this shield all the way around. We're gonna take some paint off of it. He's gonna be our little riot trooper. He's gonna be the guy that, you know, maybe assist and cover. He marches at the front of the platoon. We don't know. We don't know. We just work here, right? I keep saying that. I keep telling you guys. Get the back too. Just in case some of the shots show the back side of the shield. And this is going to be, get a little bit of all three colors on here. Dirty this bitch up. And this is something too that he'll be able, like, you'll be able to clean up, but still have the dings and dents and stuff, because that's how the world works, right? Go. And once again, just working with gravity. Right. Get that out of his armpit there. Guess we'll slide that into his hand. We'll slap that on his wrist. There we go. There we go. I think that looks pretty sick. Maybe he's a conscripted trooper, and that's why he doesn't have his blaster yet, or maybe that's why he doesn't have his scout trooper helmet. Who the fuck knows? We just know this guy looks like he's been through some shit, and he's tough enough to keep up with what's going on. So we've got 3 troopers done so far. Let's do this sand trooper next. I feel like this one could be pretty good. We'll get the blaster out of here because we don't need that. That's not part of the weathering. That's got to get some silver dry brushed on it. I can't let him walk around like that. And we'll take his head off. The shield came from the gaming greats Biker Scout, which actually that came with. He also came with a electro baton, and he came with this god awful harness. So we're just going to take that off. Let's stain up his rank pauldron with some black. Let's get that all in there. A little bit of brown. We'll set that aside, let that dry up. And now, like I said, like we do, pop that head back on. Give these guys a quick wipe down. With the Scotch-Brite, take that shine off the armor, and again, give all this paint places to grab. Give the material a little bit of tooth, as the kids say. I don't know that the kids say that, but that's what it's called. Allowing the paint to have some purchase on the material that you're painting. And I actually think a couple of these we might throw some yellow onto. I think it'll add just enough differentiation to look unique and do a little bit of storytelling. I think that could be pretty fun, pretty cool. I don't know if it'll be fun, but it'll be neat looking, I think. We use that sanding stick again. Just make a scuff across that helmet. Chest piece. Shoulder. Really scuff up the greaves, the shin plates. Right. So, give that a wipe down. And then I'm going to have a sip of water. Talk to it. I don't know if the kids should be saying that, but the teens and adults can say what they like, I feel. All right. Boy, the thigh swivel on these older troopers is fucking abysmal. Pardon my French. It's alright. We'll get there. We'll get there. Here we go. Now he looks like a trooper. Oh god, Bjorn is sending me a box of bees. Yeah, I'm 38 and everybody starts to look young, but at the same time, like, I do have to ask people how old they are because there are guys my age that look like people I went to high school. Like, they look like they're still high school students. And then the flip side is that we have kids in town that are in fact high school students that look like people my age. Rosie, no. Thank you, ma'am. Hello, beautiful lady. Yeah, I'll let you up here. I'll let you up here in a second once I get this stuff on here. You gonna say hi to some friends? Mama Rosie wants to come say hi to us. But yeah, I just ask people like, "Oh, how old are you?" Because and ladies too. Like, I know it's supposed to be, don't ask a woman her age, but you know, there's ways to do it that are polite, and then there's ways to do it that make you seem like a dickhead. So just figure out which one. Get down, Stark. Down. Down. Now, sir. Thank you, sir. Looking at me all confused like, me? Me? Why can't I be up here? But yeah, people my age, some of them look really young, and people who are young look my age. So it's really, really strange. All right, that guy is nice and grimy. Okay. Let's take a look at the pauldron here. Yeah, I'm 38 now, and just trying to discern how fucking old people are. It's like work. So, see here, I started to wipe that away, and that grime just got into those creases. That's what we want. We want that filthy kind of build up. The brown stain the pauldron a little bit. I think that's going to look sick. I love that. You get carded a lot. Yeah, I think it's because of your youthfulness as a ginger. Just using plate mail, army painter. Like I said, I'm going to dry brush that backpack because I can't have him wandering around looking like that and not having a dirty, at least weathered pack. You guys know my weathering method, dry brushing. That's all for this. Maybe one day I'll come back with some weathering pigments. But I just want all the details to pop. Way better. And yes, I will be sealing these guys tomorrow in the sunshine. But yeah, look at that. My hands are filthy, by the way. We're getting some details on there. Perfect. Cool. Gingers. Start pretty, or you get there. Reverse is also true. What are you going to use to seal them? I use the acrylic. I have an acrylic spray sealant that I use on certain figures, and the white ones are one of them. It's a got silver paint on me. It's a anti-yellowing one that's for hobbies and photograph, like paper and stuff. I get it at Michael's. I know Wentzilla likes to use that Mr. Hobby spray, and I really need to get some of that. Give that a try. Now, because he is higher in rank, you know, the pauldron kind of denotes that. We're going to try and make him look a little bit cleaner than the other boys. You know, try and set an example. I can pull the can out and take a picture tomorrow or later tonight if I get out there and remember to reach in the cabinet and pull that out. But it's a good sealer. I've used it before on ships and stuff. It works pretty well. Things with moving parts. There was a time when I used to seal with gel super glue. That was like playing with fire. But man, if you did it right, ooh-wee, did it look good. Mr. Super Clear. It's matte clear coat. Gray can. Did you try, like, you know, putting it on with like your whole heart, like really believe what you were doing? I believe in you, Mr. Super Clear. Do your job. You can do it. Smaller blue can with yellow writing. Clear nail polish? No. No, 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 no. No. I will not use nail polish for anything action figures anymore. Anything enamel just has no place in Famous Studios on action figures. Whew. I will not, sir. You cannot make me utilize that preposterous product. A disappointing concoction. Absolutely no, sir. Wow. Enamel sucks. Hey, look at that red nose. Yeah, enamel's terrible. For one. For two, enamel has its uses. It just has no uses in action figures. Enamel will react with the plastic that figures are made of, and sometimes, majority of time, it will not cure. It gets sticky. It collects pet hair. It is just dust sticks to it. It's no good. No bueno. And I've seen people that their like hack for enamels is to paint the thing with enamels and then seal it, and then just hope that it cures underneath the sealer after years, and it just never looks right. It's never appropriate. It's not. Enamel has a place. It just does not have a place in action figures, I don't think. All right, pop this guy's head off. Put his pauldron back on. There we go. Slap his backpack on him. And that is a sand trooper. Why is this light so damn... Let's see. Ugh. Like that guy. Okay, so we got 4 down. Just got a few more to go. Sorry. Just wanted to clean the front of his shins a little bit more. But yeah. Loving that. Yeah, they've got that they've got the really nice new buck. And they've I need a producer. And I'm seriously considering hiring you on as a producer for these shows. They've got the new buck, which is excellent, and I think that they could really utilize that to move forward with some cool shit. All right, let's see here. I'm not sure how I'm gonna weather these biker scouts yet. I may set these aside for another day. I think I may dry weather them and do their bikes at the same time. But we've got these other troopers here, so let's work on them. We've got this other silly biker scout without the other head. So we're just gonna. Ugh. All right, I guess this guy isn't getting scuffed up like his buddy is, but it's okay. It's a Star War. And as I always say, they do not have to match. They do not have to be 100% perfect. He doesn't have a holster. Did I cut that off at one point? I must have cut that off at one point. I'm like, where's his holster? We'll throw some yellow on this guy too, I think. Yeah, we'll get in there with some yellows. I just want to add a little something to this dude. Some black. Hey Timbo, how's it going? Helmet right there. Some boots. Side pouch is diaper. Did I just call it a diaper? Yes, I did. Do I have any regrets that Palpatine might hear that I did that and come after me? No, I don't. No, I don't. Just gonna try something. Really wet that on there. Why wouldn't I try an experiment right now while I'm doing this? Okay. Bless you. Bless you. You okay, honey? All right. So, as you guys saw, I just did a quick, like, rinse and wet that down. And it's just a little bit of a less extreme bit of weathering on there. That'll still dry. He'll still look grimy and gummy. But I just thought that maybe one or two of them should have some newer type armor, but still dusty and dirty. Just a little bit more clean. So that'll go in there. And then we've got our, we'll call this our last trooper for the evening. I'm going to set aside his pack because I've got the little bombs. I'll have to weather those separately. His mortar tubes, I should say. We'll pop his head off, take his pauldron off, and this one we're going to 25 cents to the person who can tell me what area of the mortar trooper is going to have the most damage to his armor. Oh, and also, anybody who's interested, you have until Friday afternoon to enter, to sign up for Patreon, even at the lowest tier, $3. When you join, your name will get entered in a drawing to have a custom Treadwell droid painted up for you, whatever you want. This one's mine. It's from Aegis Station. I have a blank, and I will be doing a drawing for a winner. We've got 6 entrants so far, so it's 1 in 6 chances now. The more people that enter, the, you know, you get your name in the drawing. Can't win if you don't play. So let's take this guy. His knee. Look at that. Look at that. Timbo gets 25 cents. And Bjorn's Jabba just shipped. Sounds like an innuendo. Man, my Jabba just shipped. I gotta get the hell out of here. My Jabba shipped. Taking the shine off. Do we thank Obama? Is that do we do the thanks Obama thing now? Is that what happens? Yeah, that'll work. All right, cool. Let's take the knife and we'll just scratch up that knee. So we want that to really get dinged up. Shins will probably take a beating too. So we'll do the dragging of the tool across there. Take some of that yellow off. Chip it a little bit. Same with his chest. That bucket back on there, soldier. Okay. Bless you. You're a sneezy puppy tonight. And I'm just going over everything with some black. You can see some of the areas where I didn't get the shine off the armor because the paint pools up. That's okay. That's okay. We make it work. We make it work here at Famine Studios. You know, we've been doing this for quite some time here. We've got it pretty figured out. Red pigment there. A bit of dark brown in there on the belly area, on the chest. Hands. Get them feet. Some knees. Right. Then that goes for the shoulder pauldron too. Back that in there. No talking car tonight. Talking car. Is that a reference I don't understand? It could be. Could be. And also, I do just want to thank my patrons. There they are scrolling across the bottom. Quite a few of them are here in the chat tonight. Does help the channel. I put it into things like the lighting, the overhead camera, which I'm not using right now because, of course, it had issues. Supplies and consumables for the things we make in the videos. I don't put it into the toys. That all comes out of my pocket, or people send them to me. I obtain them through trades, but I certainly utilize it to make content, put it back into content. I'm not in a situation where I'm making enough money to put food on my table and make this full time or anything by that stretch of imagination, but every little bit helps. I do appreciate you guys. And I've been trying to do my best to post over there more and give you guys some behind the scenes stuff from little customs and things I've been making. Diorama pieces that I work on during the day or in the afternoons when I'm not streaming. Just giving you guys a little peek into the process over here at Famine Studios. There we go. Nice. It looks a little sooty, which is kind of what I'm going for here. I'm not gonna lie to you. Sooty seems to be the way. Pop that pauldron on there. And we'll throw his backpack on. And we've got another grimed up trooper, looking a little different than the others. I'm happy with that. So yeah, we did. Let's clean up a second here. Let's get that out of there. Okay. So, queso. Did somebody say queso? I love cheese. Let's see. Talking cat. Oh, yeah. He is in the other room laying down with Graham. People send me pockets. No, people send me figures and stuff, which is always appreciated. I never ask for people to just outright send me things, and some people do. I've been very fortunate to have generous people in the community. I never take it for granted. But yeah, so we've got these guys today. We did a fantastic job weathering and using those uniform colors, right? They look like they've been in the same theater. Some of them have been in combat for longer. Some of them have been in combat for less. And I have some things that we can add on. In fact, we'll do one right now. I'll do one right now just to make it exciting. Yeah, we'll do one right now. So we'll do the generic biker scout, the guy with a little less debris on him. I've got some pouches from all those projects that I've been working on with the Joy Toy figures, and we'll use a little bit of super glue. I'll show you. We'll just dry brush over them afterwards. But they're little pouches, like World War II leather pouches that are always used in the on the characters in the movies anyway. So they use those leather and canvas pouches, surplus Vietnam, World War II. Oh, I got bukkake by super glue. Hit me right in the Dolly Parton. Ugh. Well, there's a sentence I never thought I'd have to say out loud. Hit me right in the Dolly Parton. But here we are. He got me, Pa. Got me right in the Dolly Parton. Okay. And just adds a little bit of, little bit of utility of the trooper. It's got that there. And then, you know what? Since I took away his... we don't say bad things. We don't... Yeah, she is a squirter. She's a squirter. We don't say bad things about Miss Dolly, but that's a not bad thing. So just glue that to where his holster was. Nice. So now he's got a little extra pouch there, an extra pouch there. We'll give him a cloak or a poncho of some sort. Maybe a hood. Where'd that hoodie go? That little hood piece that I had earlier. I don't think the helmet will fit in there. That'd be funny. Let's see. If this works, I'll be indubitably impressed. Oh my god, it might work. Ah! All right. There we go. We got ourselves a bad Brother Tucker. Check that out. We'll have to dry brush that a little bit later. This fucking light. Freaking. We're trying to get the okay for parents to watch with their kids money. No, that ain't it. That's not the solution. But check that out. We got a scout trooper. He's all geared up. Hell yeah. That actually came out pretty sick. Hoodie Ninja. Alexa, play Hoodie Ninja by MC Chris. I'm a ninja. I'm a hoodie ninja. Tough luck, ninja stars. Now you're injured. Huge MC Chris fan in this house. Seen him trace times. Met him 4 times. Very kind soul, and also he allows people to use his music in the streams. So in the YouTubes. So very good artist. Very nice artist. Yeah, hell yeah. Cool. So we got some definite like gangsters here. These guys will be cool and ready to rock and roll. And really like this cat. The only one that you thought you knew of him. Oh man, I got story. He's right there. Well, you can't see it. I'll show you the picture later. But yeah, he's a sincere, kind soul, and yeah, I am glad to have met him more than once. And just he's a very authentic person. And yeah, we love MC Chris in this house. Yeah, I'm all about that. I think I'll put a imperial sigil on there, one of the water slides, and then weather that up. But he came out good. I think I'm most pleased with these two. Put those two together. You know, I'm just happy with all of them. I think they all came out. Like this dude looking badass, looks gruff. Him too. Like I'm excited with these guys. They came out really well. So thank you guys for joining me tonight. Yeah, I mean, it's Tuesday. We do this every Tuesday. We're back on a streaming schedule. Tuesdays, 9 o'clock. You guys see I go on 9:15. And I found that if I do that, more people turn up. For whatever reason, if it's at 9 o'clock on the nose, less people turn up to the stream. If I put it at 9:15, for whatever reason, more people turn up. So very strange. But yeah, we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 troopers today. That is not bad. You will see them out and about. Also, I guess, try not to get paint on them, but here's one of their leaderships. This was a quite simple head swap. It was the Cal Kestis in costume, in Imperial costume. I just swapped his head for Dieter Stark from the from Lost World Jurassic Park set that came with him. And I think he looks like a grimy Imperial, just like the guy in my favorite episode of Star Wars ever, which was The Believer with Bill Burr's Migs Mayfield and Din Djarin. They go and they have to infiltrate the Imperial base and they run into somebody who was in charge of Operation Cinder, which clearly is part of the PTSD that makes Mayfeld is experiencing post-Galactic War, and he deals with it in his own way, and that's honestly my favorite episode of Star Wars. Yeah, I thought it was a good scaling match. And also, he looks like the guy who plays Dieter Stark. He looks like an asshole. He was an asshole in the movie. So that face that he's got, the slick back hair, fits that Imperial vibe of, clean and orderly. So I threw that on there and I was like, yes, hell yeah. But we'll probably do a droid episode next week. I have, literally right in the face hole. Check my DMs in a few. Oh, I will. But I've got a bunch of droids. I got some cast, not this one, but cast from this one, I think. Cast BB-8 units that need to be painted up. I got those at Toy Pizza Con. I have a couple of R units, different things like that I'd like to get painted. So maybe we'll do a painting casts episode. But super stoked. I appreciate you guys tuning in, like I said. I hope you guys have an excellent rest of your evening, your Tuesday evening. I will be on TV. I'll be on stream 8 p.m. Friday, Rad Toys Galaxy Channel. World Bakers Consortium, the #1 world building show on Friday nights, internationally known. I hope to see you guys there. Check us out on Patreon, Famine Studios /262. Over on Ko-Fi as well. I hope you guys have an excellent day. Go pick up a shirt from TeePublic. They are regularly having sales. I know people are hot for that the Jackalope shirt. Be sure to check that out. I don't wear my own shirts on stream because I do things like this where my cat gets his claw caught and panics and slashes holes in me, and I bukkake poor Dolly Parton with hot glue, or not hot glue, phrasing, super glue and things like that. So I try not to wear my stuff unless we're doing those shows. It is not only international. We have had guests from Germany. We've had guests from Mexico. We've had guests from Canada. Denmark. We also had a Danish guest. I ate a Danish before I came in. It was in the green room. It was really good. But yeah, we're international, baby. We're like Mr. 305, Mr. Worldwide of toy shows. That's what we are. But have a great night, guys. Be well. Too sweet me. I'm going to go scrub my hands and feed these dogs. Peace.